Good morning children. Welcome back to mathematics class. Hope you all are fine and safe at your homes. So let us start today's lecture. This is class 10, subject mathematics, chapter number 5, arithmetic progressions. Children, this is summary lecture. Fine? In this summary lecture, I am going to make you recall all the important concepts, whatever I have taught you in total 8 lectures of chapter number 5, arithmetic progressions. Fine students? So the topics which I am going to recall, they are: number 1, the definition of arithmetic progression; number 2, generalized form of an AP; number 3, method to check AP; number 4, concept of finding common difference; number 5, concept of finding the nth term of an AP, and of course some questions based on the same concept. And after that, I am going to make you recall the derivation of finding the sum of first n terms of AP, and of course some problems based on this concept too. Fine students? So let us start the very first topic of summary lecture, that is the definition of arithmetic progression. Children, what do you mean by arithmetic progression? It is basically a list of numbers in which each term is obtained by adding a fixed number to the preceding term except the very first term. Fine? And this fixed number is basically called the common difference of an AP. As I told you earlier also, that this common difference can be either positive, negative or 0. That basically depends on the list of numbers. If list of numbers is in ascending order, like 1, 3, 5, 7, this is ascending order. So definitely the common difference, that is D, will be positive. In the same manner, if order is descending, like it is going to be start from 7, 5, 3, 1 and so on, then definitely the common difference will be negative. Correct students? Now, when will we get the common difference as 0? When each and every term of the AP will be same as the very first term of AP. Correct students? So this is the definition of arithmetic progression. In other words, what can we say about it? In other words, a list of numbers like A1, A2, A3 and so on up to AN. This AN is known as the nth term of AP. This is called an AP if there exists a common difference, or I should say a constant value, that is D, such that A1 is equal to A. Children, we can call the very first term A1 as A also. A2, how I am going to get A2? When I am going to add the common difference D in its preceding term, that is A1. So A2 will be equal to A1 plus D. In the same manner, how I am going to get A3? I am going to add common difference in its preceding term, means the preceding term of A3. That would be A2. So A3 will become A2 plus D. Correct? Now what would be A4? A4 is equal to A3 plus D and so on. Let us talk about the nth term. How can we calculate the nth term? Children, can you tell me what would be the preceding term of AN? Correct. That would be AN minus 1. Of course, N minus 1 is that very term which comes before N. And of course, the common difference will be added in it so that we can calculate the value of nth term of AP. Correct? And of course, so on. Each of the number in this list is called the term of AP. Correct, students? One is this way. One is this way of writing all the n terms of AP. And the another way is how to write it in generalized form to each and every term of an AP. Fine. Suppose children, if I am going to talk about the very first term, so that would be considered as A. So this is basically A1. If I ask you to find out A2, how will you be getting A2? You are just going to add common difference D in its preceding term. That is what actually A. So it would become A plus 1D. So when I am going to talk about A2, then you can observe that the numerical coefficient of D is 1. Correct? But when I am going to talk about A1, that is A only. So here the numerical coefficient of D will be considered as 0. Because A is A can be written as A is equal to A plus 0D. Correct, students? Now let us talk about the third term of an AP. That would be A plus 2D. Fine. And fourth term of an AP, that would be A plus 3D, and so on. Suppose if someone asks you how to write down the nth term of an AP in the generalized form. So this is very simple. An is, we basically used to denote an by nth term of an AP. So what I am going to do, I am just going to write the first term plus the term which is preceding to n, that is n minus 1. So n minus 1 into D. So this is the formula to calculate the nth term of an AP. Whenever you will be having A, you will be having common difference D, and you know how many terms are there basically, correct? So an is equal to A plus n minus 1 into D. So children, through this generalized form, you may have observed one thing, that numerical coefficient of D is always 1 less than the term. Fine. As I am going to talk about A2, when I was going to write A2 in the generalized form, then definitely the numerical coefficient of D was 1. When I was talking about A3, then numerical coefficient was 2. And when I was talking about A1, then numerical coefficient was 0. In the same manner, if I am going to talk about the nth term of an AP, then in that case, children, numerical coefficient of D will be n minus 1. Correct, students? Okay. Now, next is how to check whether the given list of the number is forming an AP or not. This is very simple. If in a list of numbers, the difference of the consecutive terms are same, the differences of the consecutive terms are same, then the given list of number is in AP, otherwise not. For example, if I used to write 2, 4, 6, 8 and so on. So let us talk about the consecutive differences. Always make sure that you have to subtract a preceding term from the succeeding one to come to know about the common difference. Fine. So we are going to just check the common difference. D is equal to, this is A2 because this is the second term of an AP. A2 minus A1 means 4 minus 2 is equal to 2. Let us talk about the next common difference of next two consecutive terms. So D is equal to A3 minus A2. That is 6 minus 4, again 2. Let us talk about the next consecutive terms. It would be 8 minus 6, that is again 2. Means which term is this? This is A4 minus A3. Again it is going to give you the common difference. As I am going to get the common differences same in each and every case. So what can I say? Yes, this is confirmed that the given list of number is going to form an AP. Correct, students? So basically, while confirming whether the given list of number is an AP or not, I have explained you how to find the common difference too. Correct? So let us give a quick recall. You will be having a complete AP given. Fine. So this is A1, A2, A3, A4 and so on. How to calculate the common difference? I have just told you. Common difference will be succeeding minus preceding term. That is A2 minus A1, or you can write A3 minus A2, or you can write A4 minus A3, or if I am going to talk about the nth term, then how will you come to know about the common difference? It would be AN, this is succeeding term, minus AN minus 1. AN minus 1 is the preceding term of AN. So through this we can calculate the common difference. Correct, students? So children, I am going to take few questions based on this. Which of the following are APs? Means you will be having a list of numbers given. You will have to just tell whether they are forming AP or not. If they form an AP, then you have to tell the common difference. Of course, whenever we have to confirm whether the given list of number is forming AP or not, for that definitely we will have to calculate common difference. And then after that it is said that you have to calculate, you have to find out next 3 more terms also. Correct? So let us start doing this question. List of numbers is 3, 3 plus root 2, 3 plus 2 root 2, 3 plus 3 root 2 and so on. So what we have to do? We have to just check whether the given list of number is forming AP or not. So let us find the common difference. That should be succeeding minus preceding. That is, this is A2. A2 minus A1 means 3 plus root 2 minus 3. Positive 3 and negative 3 are going to be cancelled. So you will be getting root 3. Correct, students? Now let us switch to the next difference. It should be A3 because this is the third term minus A2. When minus sign will come before this term, so definitely the sign of each and every term will be changed. So it would be A3 minus A2 is equal to 3 plus 2 root 2 minus 3 minus root 2. Again positive 3 and minus 3 are going to be cancelled. 2 root 2 minus root 2 will give you root 2 only. Correct, students? Now let us switch to next. It is A4 minus A3. So what is A4? Means the fourth term of the given AP. That is of the given list of numbers. Because right now we have not confirmed whether this is AP or not. So let us go for the next difference. It is 3 plus 3 root 2 minus 3 minus 2 root 2. Correct? So again positive 3 and negative 3 are going to be cancelled. 3 root 2 minus 2 root 2 will give you root 2. As the difference between the consecutive terms is same, so they are in AP. Correct? So now children, what is common difference? D is equal to root 2. Fine. And what was the very first term? That was A. A is equal to 3. Correct. Now what we have to do? We have to calculate. We have to find out the next 3 terms of this AP also. Means that would be considered as A5. Children, you know how to write it in generalized form. That is A plus 4D. What is A? A is 3 plus 4 into D. D is common difference. It would become 3 plus 4D. Suppose if you do not want to do it using generalized form, then you can do it like this also. Like the term which is preceding to A5, that would be A4 plus common difference will be added in that. So you will be getting A4 plus D. What was A4? It was 3 plus 3 root 2 plus root 2. So ultimately it will also become 3 plus 4 root 2. Correct, students? Okay. Now in the same manner, children, you can easily calculate the sixth term. That would be A6 is equal to, what is A? A is 3 plus, you have to write A plus 5D, na? So it is 5, and what is D? D is root 2. Correct. So how to calculate A7? A7 will be A plus 6D. What is A? 3 plus 6 into root 2. So these are basically the 3 more terms of the given AP. Correct? Now children, I am going to take one question in which we have to prove that the given list of number is not going to form an AP. So the given list of number is root 3, root 6, root 9, root 12 and so on. So what is to be done? Of course, we have to go for the difference. So this is A2 minus A1 means root 6 minus root 3. Children, how can you write root 6? As it is not a perfect square, so definitely it can be written root 3 into root 2 minus root 3. So from these two terms, I am going to take root 3 as common. So what is left inside the bracket? It would be root 2 minus 1. Correct? Now let us switch to the next difference. It is A3 minus A2. What is A3? That is root 9 minus, what is A2? That is root 6. 9 is a perfect square. So definitely while taking its under root, you will be getting 3 minus root 6 will again can be written like root 3 into root 2. Now from these two terms, I can take root 3 as common. Why? Because this 3 can be written as the product of root 3 and root 3. When you are going to take root 3 as common, so here only root 3 is left minus root 3 has gone outside. Here only root 2 is left. Fine. So children, while just finding the common difference of basically two common difference only, you can just observe one thing, that as the common differences are different, or I should say as the differences are not same, so we cannot call them the common difference. Correct? Since A2 minus A1 is not equal to A3 minus A2 means the differences are different. Correct? So the given list of number is not going to form an AP. Correct? Now children, our next topic is related to nth term of an AP. Fine. So if first term of an AP is A and the common difference is D, then do you know how to calculate the nth term? I have just explained you right now. So nth term is equal to A plus n minus 1 into D. Correct? And nth term is also denoted by the last term. So what can we say? That L is equal to An is equal to A plus n minus 1 into D. Okay. Let us take one example related to it. For example, if I am going to write the very first term, that is A. Another term will be A plus D. Using generalized form I am writing it. Another one will be A plus 2D and so on. So what would be the nth term? That will be A plus n minus 1 into D. Correct, students? So what I did basically, when I was going to take the very first term, then the common difference, the numerical coefficient of common difference was 0. Fine. When I took term number 2, then numerical coefficient became 1. When I took term number 3, then numerical coefficient become what did it become in this case? 2. So when I am going to take the nth term, so what would be the numerical coefficient of D? Yes, of course. It will be 1 less than n. That is n minus 1. Correct? So the same thing is written here. So an is equal to A plus n minus 1 into D. An we consider as the last term of an AP. So what would be written in place of an? That is L. L is the symbol for last term, is equal to A plus n minus 1 into D. Correct, students? Now I am going to take some questions based on nth term of an AP. So the question is, which term of the AP you will be having, that is 3, 8, 13, 18 and so on, is 78. Whenever children it is given in the question which term is 0, which term is 100, which term is 78, it means always you have to consider, let it be the nth term. Whatever term you will be having given, you have to just consider that as nth term so that you can come to know which term is this basically. Means you have to basically find out n in this question. Correct? So given AP is equal to 3, 8, 13, 18 and so on. So children, what is A? Of course 3. What is common difference? That is succeeding minus preceding, or I should say A2 minus A1. That is 8 minus 3 is equal to 5. So as I told you that it is said in the question which term of this given AP is 78. So I am just going to assume it. So let it be the nth term because I do not know what is n here. Correct? So let the nth term of an AP be 78, means an is equal to 78. Formula I have just made you recall right now. It is A plus n minus 1 into D is equal to 78. Fine. Now put the value of A and D in it so that we can calculate n. This is 3 plus n minus 1 into 5 is equal to 78. Now this 3 is added on left hand side. It will be subtracted on right hand side. It would become 75. Correct? So the complete equation I have got n minus 1 into 5 is equal to 75. Now this 5 is multiplying with n minus 1. So it must be divided on right hand side. It would become n minus 1 is equal to 75 upon 5, that is 15. Now what is n? N is equal to 15 plus 1 because this minus 1 will go on right hand side. Means the 16th term of the given AP is 78. Correct, students? Suppose if this is given in the question that which term will be 0, which term will be 100, in the same manner you have to do this question. Fine. Now again I am going to take one more question based on the same concept, that is nth term of an AP. How many 3-digit numbers are divisible by 7? Children, in this type you will be having a situation given. Fine, based on mathematical problems, and after that you will have to basically form AP yourself and you have to tell how many 3 digits number will exist. Means how many means you have to tell n. Correct? Means you have to tell the number of terms. So first of all we are going to form AP based on the given condition. As it is said in the question that you have to form the AP based on 3-digit numbers. So 3-digit number basically start from 100, goes up to 999. Fine. But what else is the condition? That the number must be divisible by 7. When I divided 100 by 7, so let us do its division once. It will go on 7 ones are. This is 3, 0, 30. It will go on 4s, that is 28. Remainder will be 2. Means you will be getting remainder as 2. So we can say that 100 is not exactly divisible by 7. So when you will be reaching on 101, you will be getting remainder as 3. For 102, you will be getting remainder 4 and so on. So ultimately you will be getting 105. This number is exactly divisible by 7. As we will have to go for the next number which is also divisible by 7. So the very easy way to form this AP is that you keep on adding 7 in the preceding number to come to know about the succeeding number. Correct? Now, when I divided 999 by 7, it was not divisible exactly by 7. So then I divided 998, then 997. So ultimately I got 994. Is that very number, which is 3-digit number, and of course is exactly divisible by 7 also. Correct, students? So as we have to tell that how many such kind of numbers are going to be possible. So what is to be done? Basically we will have to calculate n in this case. So a is equal to 105, the very first term of AP. D, common difference. There is no need to find common difference. We know it automatically. How? Because we added 7 in 105 to come to know about 112. Means the other number, other 3-digit number which is divisible by 7. Correct? So the common difference will be 7, of course. Now, what is given? What else is given in this question, children? We know about the last term. Because after this, if I am going to find about 3-digit number, the highest 3-digit number will be 999, which is not divisible by 7. So after that, I will be getting 4-digit numbers. So this very number will be considered as the nth term of NAP. Correct? So let AN is equal to 994. Formula you know very well. That is A plus N minus 1 into D is equal to 994. Put the value of A, which is 105, plus N minus 1 into common difference is 7 is equal to 994. In the same manner as I solved the previous question, we will be doing it. First of all, taking 105 on right hand side. Sorry. After subtracting, I will be getting 889. 7 into n minus 1 is equal to 889. So n minus 1 is equal to 889 upon 7. That is 127 after cancelling them. So if n minus 1 is equal to 127, so n will be, of course, 128. So hence there are 128 numbers of 3-digit which are exactly divisible by 7. Correct, students? Now children, I am switching to the next type. Find the 20th term from the last term of an AP. AP is 3, 8, 13 and so on up to 253. Children, I made you understand that whenever it is said that you have to calculate so and so term from the last term of an AP, then always you write down, you should change the order of AP. How? Like here it is given in ascending order. So definitely common difference will be positive. But when we are going to find out the 20th term from the last term of an AP, then we will have to change this order, which is basically ascending in descending order. So what would be the required AP? That would be 253, comma and so on 13, 8, 3. Correct. Now this is descending order. So definitely common difference will be negative. So A is equal to 253. D is equal to 8 minus 13 you can write. 3 minus 8 you can write. You will be getting minus 5. Now this was the required AP. Easily we can just find out the 20th term from the last now. You have to just calculate A20. It would be A plus 19D in the generalized form. What is A now? This is 253 plus 19 into D is minus 5. So children, you will be getting 253 minus 95 is equal to 158. So basically 158 is the 20th term from the last of the given AP. Correct, students? Now children, our next topic is how to find out the sum of first n terms of an AP. For that I am going to make you recall the derivation once again. So first of all, you must be knowing about the generalized form of an AP, that is A plus D, A plus 2D, A plus 3D, and of course the nth term will be A plus n minus 1 into D. Fine. So let S denotes the sum of first n terms of an AP, because we will have to calculate sum. So that I am going to denote by S. So you will be having total n terms given. So I am just going to add them all because I have to calculate the sum of those terms. So it would be A plus D plus A plus 2D and of course A plus n minus 1 into D. Correct? Children, can you let me know what would be the preceding term of A plus n minus 1 into D? The term which comes before it? It would be A plus n minus 2 into D, because this is the term which is preceding to it. Correct? Now rewriting these terms in the reverse order. As they were going to start from A, as I am going to write it in the reverse order, means whatever term was the last, that would become the first term, or whatever term was the first, that would become the last term. Correct? So it will be written A plus n minus 1 into D plus, this is A plus n minus 2 into D, and so on. Then A plus D, A plus A also. Correct? On adding equation 1 and 2 means sum of first n terms of an AP as well as its reverse order. Correct? Now I am going to add them. So what will I be getting? S plus S will become 2S is equal to each and every term. You have to add like this. Instead of simplifying all the brackets, you add just like this. First term of the equation 1 will be added in the first term of equation 2. Correct? So A plus A will become 2A. Here there is no term with n minus 1 into D. Here. So will be written as it is plus n minus 1 into D. Correct, students? Now let us add the second term of both sum. So A plus D must be added in A plus n minus 2 into D. A plus A will become 2A plus this is n minus 2 into D. This is 1D, taking D as common. So what would be left inside the bracket? Here the numerical coefficient of D is 1. This is 1 plus n minus 2. It would become n minus 1 only. Correct, students? So this is n minus 1 into D and so on. Now children, please have a look once very carefully. I am going to talk about the second last term. This is A plus D and here it is A plus n minus 2 into D. Look, here also I have added these two terms only. But what was the difference? Here in equation number 1 we had been given A plus D. Now we will be having A plus D given in equation number 2. In equation number 2 we had A plus n minus 2 into D. Now we have A plus n minus 2 into D in equation number 1. Basically they are both same term. So after adding them I will be getting again 2A plus n minus 1 into D plus A plus n minus, this is A plus n minus 1 into D will be added in A. So I will be getting 2A plus n minus 1 into D. Correct, students? Can you let me know how many times the same term is going to be repeat? It is occurring total n number of times. Fine. So children, if I ask you, you add 3 10 times. So will you keep on adding 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 and so on? Or will you multiply 3 by 10? That would become 30. Correct? So the same strategy we will have to adopt here. As I am going to get 2A plus n minus 1 into D n number of times, how will I add them? Definitely n will be multiplied by 2A plus n minus 1 into D. Correct? So what is S? S is equal to, this 2 is multiplying, will be divided. It would become n by 2 into 2A plus n minus 1 into D. So this is the formula to calculate the sum of first n terms of AP. Can be written like Sn also. Fine. Now we can even write the same formula in another way also. What is that way? N by 2 into this 2A I am going to split. I have written A plus n minus 1 into D. Children, you know this formula. A plus n minus 1 into D is nothing but the nth term of an AP, that is An. So it would become A plus An into n by 2. And An, you know children, that is last term. So how can I write the formula in another way? It would be n by 2 into either A plus L or n by 2 into A plus An. Correct, students? Let us take one question based on sum of first n terms of an AP. What is given in this question? You will be having the very first term, that is A is equal to 2 given. Common difference you know, D is equal to 8. Sum of first n terms is given 90. And what you have to calculate? You will have to calculate n, that is number of terms, and An, that is last term. Correct? So now we are going to utilize whatever is given to us. So Sn is equal to 90. This has been given. Children, I have just made you learn the formula of Sn. When you know about A, when you know about D also. So that would be Sn is equal to n by 2 into 2A plus n minus 1 into D. Substitute the value of A and D in this formula. So it would become n by 2 because n we do not know. Correct? N is n actually. Fine. So 2 into a is 2 plus n minus 1 into common difference is 8 is equal to 90. So this is n by 2 into 2 will become 4 plus 8n minus 8. I have just multiplied 8 by n minus 1. Simplify the bracket first. It would become 8n minus 8 plus 4 will give you minus 4 is equal to 90. And here n by 2 is also multiplying with this expression. Fine. Now I am going to take 2 as common from this bracket. So inside the bracket I have got 4n minus 2. That 2 which was taken as common is going to be cancelled with this denominator 2. So I have got n into 4n minus 2 is equal to 90. Multiply n by each and every term of this bracket. So I will be getting 4n square minus 2n. This 90 I am bringing on left hand side. Minus 90 is equal to 0. Fine. Now children, this is a quadratic equation in n. How to simplify it? We are going to adopt a factorization method to simplify this quadratic equation. So we want the sum should be minus 2 and the product should be minus 90 into 4, that is minus 360. So let us split the middle term. After splitting, children, I have got 4n square minus 20n plus 18n minus 90 is equal to 0. Minus 20 plus 18 will give you minus 2 and their product will give you minus 360. Fine. So let us take 4n common from first two term. I have got n minus 5 inside the bracket. Plus from last two term I will be taking 18 as common. Again n minus 5 inside the bracket is equal to 0. Write down n minus 5 one time because this will be taken as common. In another bracket 4n plus 18 is left is equal to 0. So either n is equal to 5 or n is equal to minus 9 by 2. Children, but you know that the number of terms can never ever be negative. So minus n by 2 will be considered as a rejected value. So this is n is equal to 5. Fine. We basically wanted to calculate the nth term also, means a5 also. Formula you know. Using generalized form we can write it like a plus 4d is equal to what is a? 2 plus 4 into what is d? D is common difference given in the question. So this is 2 plus 32 is equal to 34. Correct, students? Now children, this is the next type based on sum of first n terms of an AP. What is there in this question? Basically you will be having sum given of first n terms of an AP. You will have to just find out the nth term of an AP. So what is to be done for this? Please have a look. If sum of first n terms of an AP is 4n minus n square, this has been given in the question. You will have to just find the first term. Here first term is denoted by S1, though we know this is A1 actually. S1 is what basically? S1 is nothing but the sum of first term. Can you add one term only? No. For adding we require at least two terms. So this is nothing but A1 only as well as S1 also. What is the sum of first two terms? Means I will have to calculate S2, correct? What is second term? What does it mean? I have to calculate A2 also. Similarly, we will have to find the third, 10th and the nth term. Okay. So here we will be having the sum of first n terms of an AP given, that is 4n minus n square. As what is said in the question, I have to calculate S1. So wherever I am finding n, I am just going to put 1 over there. It would become S1 is equal to 4 into 1 minus 1 square, that is 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. Children, you know for addition we require at least two terms. We basically cannot calculate the sum of one term only. So the first term is equal to S1 is equal to A1 is equal to 3. Correct? Now we have to calculate S2. Very simple. Just at place of n you will be writing 2. So put it. S2 is equal to 4 into 2 minus 2 square. That is 8 minus 4 is equal to 4. This is the sum of first two terms. Correct, students? Now the main concept is going to be start to calculate second term. Children, when you know the sum of first two terms, you know the very first term, or I can say the sum of one term only, though it is not possible to find out, then this is very simple to calculate the second term. So the formula will be A2 is equal to S2 minus S1. That I have explained you earlier. S2 is nothing but the sum of first two term. Let it be A1 and A2. This sum. And I have to subtract the very first term, means I have to subtract A1. They are going to be cancelled. Ultimately, what I am going to get? I will be getting A2 only. Correct? That is 4 minus 3 is equal to 1. Similarly, please recall these formulae first. How to calculate the third term when you know the sum of first three terms as well as you know the sum of first two terms. Correct? So, A3 is equal to S3 minus S2. And what was Sn given in the question? Sn was 4n minus n square. So at place of n I am writing 3 because I have to calculate S3. It would become 4 into 3 minus 3 square. Look. Minus S2, that is 4 into 2 minus 2 square. Here it is written. Simplify them. 12 minus 9 minus 8 minus 4. That is 3 minus 4 is equal to minus 1. Correct, student? In the same manner, if I have to calculate the 10th term, can easily be calculated from while subtracting S9 from S10. Correct? So just insert the value n is equal to 10 to calculate S10 and n is equal to 9 to calculate S9. Correct? This can be done easily by you. Now I am going to explain you basically the same concept on the basis of generalized form. Whenever I have to calculate the nth term and I know the sum of first n terms. So this is very simple to calculate the sum of first n minus 1 terms also. Because till now children also we were doing the same. As we were going to calculate the 10th term, so we were taking the sum of all 10 terms and we were going to subtract the sum of first 9 terms out of those. 9 is nothing but the preceding to it. In the same manner, n minus 1 is also preceding to n. Correct? So let us simplify them. An is equal to Sn I know, that is 4n minus n square. So now children I have to calculate Sn minus 1. Please be alert. It should be Sn minus 1 is equal to 4 into n minus 1 minus n minus 1 whole square. Check it. 4 into n minus 1 minus n minus 1 whole square, because at place of n you will be just substituting n minus 1. Correct? Now this is 4n minus n square minus, simplify them. It would be 4n minus 4 minus a minus b whole square, that is n square plus 1 minus 2n. Correct? Taking this minus sign inside the bracket, I will be getting 4n minus 4 minus n square minus 1 and plus 2n. Fine. Now again this minus sign is entering inside this big bracket. So again the sign of each and every term will be changed. This 4n and 4n are going to be cancelled. N square is going to be cancelled with n square also. So what I have got? I have got 5 minus 2n as the nth term when I will be knowing about the sum of first n terms of NAP. Correct, students? Okay. Now children, this is the last question of today's summary lecture. What is there in this question? This is basically related to the HOTS exercise. Which term of the AP, that is 121, 117, 113 and so on, is its first negative term? Actually a small concept, new concept is introduced in this question. That's why I am going to pick it once again. So AP you will be knowing as it is in descending order. So definitely D will be negative. So let us start. A is equal to 121. What is D? D is succeeding minus preceding. That is 117 minus 121 is equal to minus 4. Children, I told you whenever it is said which term is negative, which term is minus 150, which term is 0, always we have to consider let it be the nth term. So let nth term, that is an, be the very first negative term. Of course we will be getting the negative term if we keep on writing this AP. Why? Because it is in descending order. So somewhere we will be getting 0 also. Correct? Okay. Now, for the first negative term, children, you must be knowing this concept that negative term means the term should be negative. Means it should be less than 0. So let an be less than 0. As I told you that we have to consider that nth term is less than 0. So the formula for nth term is a plus n minus 1 into d is less than 0. What is a? 121 plus n minus 1 into d is minus 4 is less than 0. Multiply them. 121, this is n minus 1 is multiplied by minus 4. You will be getting minus 4n plus 4 is less than 0. 121 plus 4, that is 125, minus 4n is less than 0. So minus 4n is less than minus 125. Why? Because 125 is positive here. It will be going on another side, on right hand side. But here we cannot say that right hand side of equal to. Here this is the symbol for inequality. Fine. So it would, the sign of 125 will be changed again. Now the concept which I wanted to make you recall is, children, whenever we used to write, like suppose if I am writing 3 is less than 7. And I am going to multiply this very expression of inequality by minus 1. So it would become minus 3 will be greater than minus 7. This you know very well that minus 3 is always greater than minus 7. So when I am going to multiply this inequality by minus 1, definitely this less than sign will also become greater than. Correct? Okay. So it would become minus 1 into minus 4n, that is plus 4n. Less than will become greater than. Minus 125 into minus 1 will become plus 125. Correct? So now n is greater than 125 upon 4, that is 31 whole 1 upon 4. Or I can write it 31.25 also in decimals. But children, you know that n can never ever be in decimal. It can never ever be in fraction. And what else is said? That n is greater than 31.25. So what is the value of n? N is a positive integer. Correct. So it should be n is equal to 32. The very next value I have to take, that should be integer but. Fine. So n is equal to 32. Here it is written, this is the least integral value of n. Integral is nothing but the integer only. Correct, students? Fine. Now children, that's it for the day. This is the time to get mathematics homework. Your maths homework is that you have to revise chapter number 5 from NCERT in your practice notebook. Children, please revise examples as well as HOTS also. Do not leave even a single question. Fine, you must be knowing each and every type. You should revise each and every type questions. Correct, students? So that you can score very well. Fine. So, that's it for the day. Please like the video and do not forget to subscribe our channel. Thank you and have a nice day.